Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
I'm Ted.
Today we're going to be doing another episode of Hooked on D&D Adventure. This time, The Great Hunt.
Why don't you jump down to the description below, sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So, a while back, one of the first D&D games that we actually played with Scott Garibay, which is, it's not one of the recorded games. One of the things we had to do, we had captured several criminals. And there was actually 3 brothers. And we had 2 of the 3 brothers in custody. And we needed to capture the 3rd one. And every, I don't know if it was 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, whatever it was, there would be this great hunt. Not officially, but...
it would happen.
It would happen because these flowers would bloom, and these flowers were the favorite delicacy of this plainer elk. I think they called it a white grouse or something like that. But the thing is it's for one, it's it is the pinnacle of any hunter's trophy to get this thing. But if you kill it and you drink its blood or eat its heart or something like that, I forget what lore Scott had used was. He did something crazy, it added a +5 to all your stats or something ridiculous. But the adverse side effect was for 50 miles, it would create a dead magic zone. Their magic could not exist in that zone. So, but all of that was really just a backdrop to us hunting for this 3rd criminal, who. Many people didn't even believe this was a real thing. They didn't believe the elk existed, and but this criminal, the 3rd brother, did. So regardless of whether it was a real thing or not, we knew, it was around that time, and we knew he would be hunting for it.
Right.
So at the same time, Scott introduced another piece of conflict, and that was a hunter who was an exceptional hunter, and was definitely someone not to mess with, who was also hunting this elk, and you're not going to want to get in his way. Right. Was kind of the idea. So so you had all this stuff going on.
There's 3 different plot lines going on, and how much you want to get involved in. Exactly.
There's this is the goal of hunting the hunter, right? Is the one idea. The other one is not getting in. The other thing that's going on is, and you get to interact with this other hunter who you don't really want to get in his way. And then the 3rd thing was, well, what about the elk itself? Do you protect the elk? Do you kill the elk and take the prize for yourself? Is the risk worth the reward? One is the risks would be, 1, creating a magic dead zone. 2, interfering with this hunter's hunt, and 3, possibly sacrificing your objective of getting the criminal and bringing him in order to take the elk for yourself.
Right.
So these were all things that Scott had kind of introduced into his game. It was a really interesting concept, and it gave you several different dynamics to attack the plot from.
Right.
So eventually, for us, how it played out, you can do it completely different in your game. Was several of our players insisted on protecting the elk, and we did manage to take the tiefling prisoner and fulfill our obligation, and 3rd, we totally offended the hunter.
Right.
Oh, and the thing about the hunter, right, was he was no normal hunter. He had a quiver of arrows full of arrows of slaying. One of the good things was that our rogue in the party had actually pickpocketed him or sleight of hand in this edition, and stole some of the arrows of slaying, the ones that were would have been used against our party.
Right.
Yeah, so
It was pretty amusing when he's walking around with these arrows, and it's like, yep, I could fire this at you.
yeah, well, or he was the other guy couldn't fire them at us, which was that
was the
main
advantage
point.
part. But out of game, he was joking about it, so it added a little bit more amusement at the table.
Yeah, except for I think he was kind of a good rogue, not a bad rogue.
Oh, yeah.
But so it just created different dynamics. So here's a plot line you can steal, and that essentially it is the Great Hunt, and you can change it, twist it however you want, whatever works for your game. Let us know if it's something you'd use, if it's something you have used in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out funny memes over on Facebook.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.
stay nerdy.